So my name is Thomas Patrick.
It's Thomas Patrick in the bow seat. He's got the steers first, and actually
Thomas Patrick's back, you can see in the bow seat.
I am a rower at Tideaway Scullers school.
Loving those blades from Scullers, they look really, really good. Credit to their coaches.
The Tideaway Scullers school.
I'm 17, going 18 in February. I'm in the junior men's squad, rowing at a pretty competitive national level.
Yeah, nice big celebrations.
Yeah, Scullers! Come on, Scullers!
Trying to go international this year, and that's how it's going. It's on the clock, right? It's who can get from the start line to the finish line in the quickest possible time. It can be in boat classes ranging from a single scull, that's you alone, you against the clock, generally against 5 other people in a race side by side. That can go up to 8 people, sweeping in an 8, which is with 1 oar compared to 2 oars sculling. It's the balance of finesse and technique, like finesse of the technique of it and the power, which I think is quite an intriguing aspect of it. So in no way is one person going to win with just power, is no one way person is going to win with technique. It's about balancing it and literally finding the best in both worlds. And I mean, that makes the athletes in rowing just amazing.
So my name's Rob Patrick, I'm 47, I'm Thomas's dad.
Going back, you know, we went on family holidays to France.
I bought Tom one of these sort of orange dinghies. It's quite a sort of large dinghy with oars, and whereas all the other kids were sort of, you know, beating themselves around with the oars, you know, Tom just wanted to actually row it, right?
When in rowing boats, it was quite fun, enjoyed it.
And before I knew it, you know, he was literally rowing up and down this stretch of river in the Dordogne.
Realistically, it started joining Christ School, my secondary school. They had a rowing club, so I joined that. We rowed down at a club called Team Keen, just down in Brentford in London.
I probably would say that he was more inwardly confident when he was younger, as opposed to sort of now, maybe a bit more sort of outwardly confident, and I think maybe that's a combination of the rowing and a number of other factors.
Kind of built my way up the system, so as a 14-year-old in J14, built up, was rowing with people older than me, and then a little bit outgrew the club of Team Keen. We decided to join Tideaway Scullers School in J16, and then the story carries on from there. So.
I think there was, you know, a sort of an edge to him, like a fiercely competitive edge to him, that sometimes sort of precluded him from doing certain sports, because if he couldn't do it, you know, if he couldn't win it, he didn't want to do it, right? So I think there was a point in time when I sort of wondered whether he would sort of get into anything, because, you know, obviously you're not going to win at everything.
It's a nerve-wracking experience, because when you first get into a boat, you're really out of control. It's like swimming for the first time. I mean, I think a lot of people relate to that, or riding a bike for the first time. It's a very unnatural motion, a very unnatural way of doing things, but you learn, you kind of get a feel for how the boat moves, how it rocks, how it moves over water. And I mean, you'll pick up the basics of rowing soon, and at the fundamentals of it, it's a pretty simple sport, really. It's just about doing it right, again and again and again, making the boat go fast. The fundamental movement, in a quick explanation, is pretty simple. It's, you got to stabilize the boat at the finish of the stroke when your hands are with your body. Move your hands out first, body over, and then come to the front, basically doing nothing in that whole kind of middle bit, and then just a big leg drive onto the finish. But although the concept and theory is easy, the amount of control that needs, and doing that same thing, 200 strokes in a 2K race, right? So you have to do that perfectly 200 times. It's like doing a golf swing perfectly 200 times in a row. So it's an art, it's a finesse, and I mean, you know, no one does the perfect rowing stroke. You're just always in the constant feedback loop. What did you do good that time? Let's try and do it even better. That's how it rolls. Tideaway Scullers School is a club on the Tideway in London, on the Thames. It's not actually a very old club, but it has a lot of history. So it was founded in 1955 by what would we call like an elite group of rowers. So essentially, this group of rowers came from different clubs and they wanted to row together, essentially. They wanted to be the fastest boat. They wanted to row in singles. They wanted to row in eights. So the club started out as more of a kind of idea, boating out of just, they owned a few boats, boating here, and they won bloody everything because they were the fastest people rowing at a club. And you know, Tideaway Scullers School built the reputation. We won the Head of the River race for nearly 10 years, I think, between 1960 to 70. And that carried out into the 2000s. We had Mahi Trisdale rowing here, 2 times gold medal in the single scull at the Olympics. I mean, the history is rich. So I mean, it's a very prestigious club, but it's a great club, a great community, and you know, I wouldn't want to be anywhere else, to be honest. I have a lot of memories in the club because I've been here for, what, 2.5 years now. It's a bit like my second home, really. I think I do spend more time here than I do at home, which is quite scary as well. But it's the place I come, my teammates are here, my friends are here. It's just a great community, and it's just a place where people want to thrive, people want to do well, people want to get faster. It's just euphoric, really. It gives you life. That's why I do it.
Yeah. Okay. When he was 8 years old, he lost his mum to cancer, which of course, you know, was hugely difficult on Tom, the whole family. But being 8 years old, of course, you're at an age where, you know, it's, you know, you understand. And you visually and emotionally, it's not easy, you know. So I think, you know, his mum was, you know, an immensely strong woman. For her, it was about protecting the children and you know, as much as possible, not allowing them to be upset or hurt. So she, you know, stayed massively strong throughout, you know, through all of her suffering and challenges, and I think that's played a big part on Tom's mindset and how he tackles stuff, and you know, seeing somebody tackle something so horrific in such a strong way, I think has sort of resonated, either consciously or unconsciously, in him.
It's a pain sport at the end of the day, right? And there's things you can mitigate, but at the end of the day, you're gonna have to try and like work through it. You can't really stop when you're on the water. You can't just come back in at any point because you're far away from the club. So, you know, sometimes you have to deal with the pain. Sometimes it's a bit of character building, I guess. Generally where we row is on the Tideway in London, so the River Thames. It's a pretty treacherous stretch of water. It's tidal, so the tide will come in and out, which means suddenly you'll be rowing bloody fast with the tide, and then you'll be going against it, going ridiculously slow, slower than walking pace. So I mean, you're gonna have to get used to that. It's a pretty intense week of training. Generally about 2 sessions a day, 6 days a week, with 1 rest day, which is normally on the Friday. Monday, I'll do a rowing machine, which we refer to as ergs. I'll do about an hour of UT2, which is very low intensity, just training the kind of core lungs, the core aerobic system. Then I'll do a gym session, which is gonna be conditioning, slow movements, injury prevention, some heavier weights, and then a big part of it is core, just because the core control is just so important in the boat, and that's something we just always are trying to build. Tuesday, that will generally be a morning session before school, so waking up at 5, on the water at 6, doing a good 12 to 15K out there is another kind of low intensity technical session. We'll be doing more on the rowing machine. That's going to be a UT2/UT1 session, so hour and a half. Wednesday, pretty much same as Monday. It's just more low intensity rowing machine, more weights, probably a little more core focused. Thursday is the big day. Thursday is when we do our performance testing, should we say, of the week. That's always on the rowing machine. We'll do 5Ks, 2Ks, half an hours, just to, you know, measure progress, push the high ends of it. And sometimes we'll do a morning session on that day as well, just working on the tech. Saturday and Sunday, generally 2 sessions on the water, whatever the coaches think really. I mean, if we need more UT2, we'll do UT2. If we need high intensity, we'll do high intensity. And then all over again. 2-3 big races of the year. National Schools Regatta. That's a big junior regatta where basically every school and club who has juniors will compete. We came second in that, which was good. We built up to that. Wanted to win it, but we didn't. We screwed up the final a little bit. But that's in May. Moving on from that, we did what we call seat racing, coming to a thing we call GB France, which is the first international selection you'll have in the GB system. Went into that as the quad, and we actually managed to beat the people that beat us in national schools by 0.9 seconds on the day. So we got the place of the GB France Quad 2022, which was the highlight of the season, and that was amazing. We call it the GB France match. It's gone on for a while. It's gone on for 50+ years, and that's happened just through. We have a good relationship with France, but it's also a very competitive one, and you know, you can tell the coaches always want to beat the French. We went to GB France. We actually raced on Lake Versa-de-Marne, which is the lake they're using for Paris 2024 at the Olympics, which was very exciting. We didn't actually beat the French, which was a shame because, you know, the English and French rivalry is a long sought after thing. Lost them by a little bit, but I mean, the goal was to make GB France, and we did that, so we were happy with that. The thing is with rowing, it's 99% prep and 1% competition. So the entire year you are building up, right? You're doing different blocks of training. Start of the season, you might start off with low intensity, building fitness, building the base technical points. Then you're gonna build up into, can we row fast? Can we put that into the speed of the boat? Can we do that over 2K? So you're coming into a competition, you're gonna be nervous. Realistically, you're gonna wanna have a routine. You're gonna have the same routine, you're gonna perfect that. And you're gonna get there on the day, and you just have to trust in your fitness. You have to trust in the preparation you've done.
But a lot of rowing is about sort of suffering, and there's a lot of pain involved, and to get to the level that Tom needs to get to, right? And God knows what Tom thinks about when he's, you know, doing a 5K or half an hour on the erg, maybe winning the Olympics or something, I don't know. But you know, you need something to spur you on. You need some inner strength to spur you on.
And you're going to perform as well as you can, right? And you might have off days some days, you can have on days, but realistically, you can't control whether they rode a slightly better race than you. They didn't, you beat them, you came out on top, you came out below. It's just how it rows. You got to learn from it, do it next time, and then just train harder, I guess. It's the sport. Because it is such a team sport, working as a team is very important, right? We're in singles a lot over winter. You're learning how to row by yourself, but then that's going to have to transfer into doubles, quads. Generally, you race in the bigger boats, so you're going to have to know how to do it. It's partly practice, it's partly going out with them, partly training together a lot. We do all the ergs together, so all the UT2, all the long ergs, you're doing it together, you're doing it in rhythm. You're kind of feeling how each other's bodies like work, right? You literally get in synchronization with them, and a big part of rowing these big boats is the synchronization. So you have to move as one, you have to put the power down as one, and there's no real secret to it. It's just rowing together and knowing how to do that, which just comes with time and practice.
If you look at Tom with his rowing, and he's a big lad. He's 6'1", but he's not a 6'5" genetic rowing monster. But what he does have is the mindset, the absolute inner strength, which more than compensates for that, and it shows in all of his what he's doing, and you know, leading the club here and doing GB and all of that sort of stuff. So I think that's played out of such a negative. I think there's an element of positivity that's come out of that, relating to how he deals with rowing. So, yeah.
In the GB under-19 system, it's a whole year of trialling where you go through different tests on the ergo, starting with the 2K H24, then the 5K H26, and then a 2K free rate. That transfers over into the on-the-water trials. So there's 2 long-distance 5K trials up in Boston in the north of England, which give a general overview of where people are at, but then that comes really down to the final trials, which happens at Caversham in Reading, England, where you race over 2K in singles, you get a good speed order, and then it will come down to just a lot of seat racing. So the final week of trials is 5 days of straight seat racing. You can be doing 35, 1,500 races with different crews every single day, just smashing it, and that's just going to be trying to find the absolute fastest possible combination in the whole of the country. And then they'll go to World Championships, they'll go to Coupe de Janus, where you know you're competing for international gold medals and silver and bronze medals, which is the highest rank. So it's super competitive, and yeah, that's the goal. That's what everyone's building towards, and people get at different rates, but you know, that's the end goal.